Okay, start recording. Time is 7:59, November 22nd. Let's start streaming. Gotta put on gloves because it's cold. Bought a thermometer. It's 30 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Earlier I could see my breath. I can still kind of see it. But, let's see. Let's see about this. Um, I'm starting my community service again today on this project. Uh, I had to put a pause on it for the last month or so, like several weeks, because it got really cold, and I had to try to do my best to finish up my cabin. And I got all the insulation up for the most part. There's just like one last section I'm holding off because I got to put some supports in. But then before I could do that, I got a cold, which lasted about 2 weeks. I'm at the very tail end of it now. Like I feel okay, but I'm still occasionally I'll still cough up some stuff. But I'm feeling good enough to start working on this again. Right now I'm just pulling up my reference. Turn this down a bit. Okay. Last I left off, I was just right around this part. I already storyboarded that stuff. I was at this scene. Now I gotta storyboard this portion. Okay. Okay. Wait, how many gestures does he pull off in this shot? So he's got his like hand up like this, like he's thinking. It starts off. It starts off with him just shot, shiat biatch. I shouldn't swear during these because I'm planning on uploading them later. I haven't uploaded the first ones yet, but uh, maybe someday I'll get around to it. Where is my moderator? I guess she hasn't read the news yet. She must be off doing something, either cooking or playing the guitar, or maybe walking her dog. Anyway, whoops, that's not how that goes. What were these? Oh, these were the sketches. Okay. Oh, oh, I had started working on this portion. All right, sweet. Awesome. Way to go, past me. I didn't think you already did that. There's my love. There's my lovely moderator. Okay, pull this down. Got right here. Kind of copy this. Pull it down over here because I'm going to draw his next gesture off of this. My D button isn't working. My D key. Dicky. My D key. My letter D key on the keyboard is not working as well as it should be. Parts of some of the buttons on my numerical pad on the right are just dead. I don't know why. Like it's the built-in keyboard on my lappy, and some of the buttons are just dying. I have no idea. But it all started when it started getting really cold, and my D key won't work unless it's warmed up. But the on my numerical pad, the keys for 1, 4, 5, 7 are just kaput. They are kaput. Anyway, 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 you see it. Do 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 do. All right. Uh, uh, been a while since I worked on this. It's like I don't know how long it's been. Um, Once we got our first snow flurry, oh, that was in October. So it has been like maybe about a month, maybe a little over a month since I last worked on this. But once we got hit with our first snow flurry, that's when I started working on this cabin, putting all my time, effort, and money into it. I think it's a lot better now about retaining warmth. I just got to finish up that last little bit, but I got to put those supports in. But I haven't been able to do that because I've just been sick for the last 2 weeks. But I'm feeling better now. I'm still a little sniffly, and I'll still cough up a little bit of, as my love puts it, lung butter. Just calling it phlegm is like, yeah, it just had a little bit of phlegm. But then when calling it lung butter, it just makes it seem so much grosser. But I like it. I'm gonna refer to it as lung butter from now on. Fucking gross. Melody says maybe the members under the keys, membrane under the keys is a bit out of line. Maybe. And Melody's just laughing at the term she had taught me. Lung butter. Yeah. Do, 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 do. So I'm doing this community service until I can find a job or go back to school. Schooling should start sometime. Like I was told that I might have to start some classes in December. We'll see about that. But as far as FAFSA goes, like I applied for like a student loan or grant, and they gave me an estimated cost of what I might receive, and then they said that they'd send me an email on my status after it was like after it goes through. I have not gotten that email yet, so I don't know what the whole process is about getting approved for like a FAFSA loan or grant. But I assume it must be taking a while. They probably got like a whole lot of, maybe they're like backlogged or something. But I'm still waiting to hear back from it because if I don't have that grant, like chances are I can't go to school because I can't fucking afford it. I can't barely afford anything now because of the whole this community service art stuff that I'm doing. And for those who are wondering, what I'm doing right now for community service is like reanimating these old um, Navajo animations based off our traditional coyote stories. And the the people who own it are actually the school district out here, and they have no um, issues with me like working on these animations. Like even though I'm on probation and stuff, like since I'm doing it remotely, there's like no issue there. So I'm just working on these. And I'm hoping beyond hope, that as long as I keep working on it, eventually people will take notice because I post updates on my Twitter. I'm hoping that I can get some sort of crowd funded like support to continue working on this because that would help out a lot. But the the first tweet I sent out to announce that I'm working on this, that I'm doing this, like got a lot of traction, and like a lot of people were saying that they'd be willing to donate if there was a donate site. So instead of like making a new donation site through like GoFundMe or Patreon or what, well, I can't go through Patreon because Patreon and I are just like fucking at ends right now. So fuck them. But I decided to go through Coffee, and it's through my existing Coffee site, so I'll post updates there too. Melody says, "I try my best to keep you going, nerd." Yeah, and you've been doing fucking awesome. I'm still here, love. All thanks to you. There's no one else better than keeping me alive than this fine little lady here, Alistar Dreamer, aka Melody the Righteous, awesome, babylicious, wonderful, all all adjectives, all good. Insert any good adjectives here. Just fucking amazing. She's fucking awesome. But yeah, just the second tweet I sent out connecting my coffee site for like crowdfunding purposes for this project, it just fell flat. And I like tweeted it out as a response, like as a chain, like as a chain thread to the previous tweet, and I tagged all the same people. Like I anything Navajo related, I tagged in the thing. In the first and in the first one, it got a lot of traction, but the second one, it's like people are, people will say like, oh yeah, yeah, I donate money. I'd give my money for this. This seems really good. This seems really cool. So when time comes, like, hey, you remember you said you donate if there was a donation site, and it's here, it's right here. You can go ahead and start sending me some money so I can continue working on this without worry of like lack of funds. But once once that donation basket starts coming around, people go quiet. People are silent, and I'm over here like, you fucking assholes. uh, get my hopes up for nothing like that. It's like one thing to just like not say anything, you know. It's like when someone's like asking for assistance in like a project or something, but then like if you're not gonna donate, just don't say anything. But the worst you could do is just give somebody false hope. It's like you give this promise like, oh yeah, like I definitely donate. Yeah, like this is a worthy cause. I definitely give you money. Just send me a donation site. And then when it comes down to it, those people are just like are gone. Like, ah, you fucking piece of shit, assholes. So I'm just here, just like working on this on my own time, with my own efforts. Little to no assistance from the community, who I'm doing this for. Well, more or less against my will, but in all honesty, this is like something that I've wanted to do for a long time. But yeah, don't be sad, Melodies. It's okay. That's why you're awesome, Mel, my darling Luffy love. You always pull through on whatever it is you say. There's just other people who like say like, "Yo, yeah, I'll donate money. Just give me the site." You're like, "Okay, here's the site." Crickets. Crickets for miles. Okay, if he was holding that that stick, and then he like put his hand up contemplatively, trying to pronounce that word, con, contem, contemplatively. Shit. Well, he's putting his hand up in a thoughtful manner, like it'd be behind the stick, so I still have to have that stick there. Probably just like move it down a little bit. Or maybe maybe I should animate an action where he kind of like see like the stick is at his side because he's like he was holding this way, but then he turns this way to like hear what the coyote's talking about. But then maybe I should like animate an action where he like takes the hoe and he plants it to his side, and then he puts his hand up in a thoughtful manner. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Melody says, "This is why I raised awareness, so I don't like seeing your projects go to the wall when you work so hard." Yeah, crickets and distant coyote howls. Yes, exactly, Luff. Now, I had thoughts about animating this whole cartoon in Clip Studio Paint, which has animation features. But the thing is, when I looked into like going about learning how to animate in it, I found out that the professional version I have, Clip Studio Paint Pro, I can only animate little clips, 24 frames at a time. I was like, oh shoot, that's not going to do. And the expert version costs a little more than I could afford, but you know what? That's fine because there's this free program called Open Tunes, and I've been playing around with it, and oh my gosh, like there's like a slight learning curve, but then when you get around that, like animating in that thing is just pretty fun. I mean, it's once you like the slight learning curve is like just figuring out what where the tools are and like how the frame system works. But then when you get that down, when you understand that, animating it is just like really smooth. It's like so simple once you get over the first hump of that learning curve. I mean, I've just been like playing around with it for the last several days now, and I've been having a blast. I've been posting like little animated loops, and it's been pretty fun. Melody says, "I also may have a dude that might want to do some comm work with you, Nerdo." Sweet. Oh, Melody, tomorrow, I'm not sure if I already reminded you, but again, just like another reminder, tomorrow I got to go into the Shiprock Police Department to do that re-registration thing. Remember last week I was going to go on Wednesday, and then they gave me a call. It was like, oh, the officer in charge of that, or like the officer in charge of it gave me a call. It was like, I'm going to be out for the rest of the week, so come. I'll be back on Tuesday, so come on that day. It's like, all right, cool. Tuesday it is. And tomorrow's Tuesday, so that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. But yeah, I want to. Yeah, Mel says, yeah, I'm members. I'm members. Yeah, but yeah, like I'd like to hear what that dude wants to get. Hmm. I also put myself out on a limb this weekend and applied to Warner Media as an animator. And Warner Media, they got like a lot of studios in their um, in their ownership, like Cartoon Network, Williams Street, um, DC, and like a whole slew of others. But there's like a handful of animation studios that they have, that they own. So I applied as an animator, and I'm just hoping like maybe something will come out of this. Like even though my hardware is limited, like I do have a guy who's like willing to pitch me some money for like some new hardware so I can hollow out this tower that I have, plug in new components, get that started up, and then see if I can do some studio work. Because one of the caveats of like doing like studio work, of like all the studios I've looked up, they all require or they all utilize Toon Boom, and it's like one of the requirements in the application process, or the skill set level or whatever. Like one of the things is that they prefer artists who can use Toon Boom. And I tried to use Toon Boom before, like the storyboard version of it for this one job that I was trying to get, and I swear I almost got it, but I think they might have weighed in the fact that I can't operate Toon Boom because I had to do the storyboard test in Photoshop, and they really liked what they saw. But if I can't work off of like other people's work, because that's how the work comes to you. They give it to you in packets with uh, the Toon Boom program in mind. So these uh, these files can only be like opened and used in Toon Boom. And I downloaded a trial version of it and tried to utilize it. It does open up, but then I'll draw, but then when I try to edit that drawing in any sort of way or fashion, the the program crashes. So I can't use Toon Boom, not on this hardware that I have now. It's a pretty old lappy. It's about maybe 10 years old or so, and that's freaking ancient in computer years. So I need a more up to date system to operate some of these programs like Toon Boom, and I've been wanting to play around with Blender, that 3D program, but my graphics card is out of date, and um, the last time I used Lappies, like before the ones that I had previously, is like you could still update laptops, like upgrade them, but I guess you can't do that anymore. I guess they do that to like save on space and just like make laptops smaller, so everything is just more or less hardwired to the motherboard or whatever. I don't know. I don't know all the technical stuff behind it, but I can't upgrade this Lappy. So I gotta. So I got this guy who's like willing to send me some money to um, buy like new PC components for this old tower that I got. And after that, like I'm hoping I can start working on that one. But I don't know what his schedule is like. But I've been looking up like computer components, like motherboards, CPUs, RAM, and a GPU. And I think I found a decent motherboard and a CPU like for a really good price. I also like looked up like reviews about them, and they're fairly decent. But I still got to do research on like a GPU, and oh my god, I had no idea how expensive like freaking RAM is getting nowadays. I guess it's going nuts, and the GPUs are just like freaking freaking up there. So I gotta do some more research on GPUs, see if I can find a very cost-effective one, like one that gets good reviews and one that isn't like hundreds upon upwards to thousands of dollars. Because like whenever I look up GPUs on any website, they're just up front. It's like the $1,000 RTX and like most latest GPUs, and it's like these aren't the ones I'm looking for. So then I'll like alter my search to like start from the lowest, and it's not even like GPUs that they're selling is like little components or like wires that are used for GPUs at like $5 or so. It's like this isn't what I'm looking for. Anyway, it's been like a little bit of a time just like doing research on some of these computer components. Melody says, save on space and guarantee you that you'd need to buy a new one every few years. Yes, concerning the lappies, it's like we don't want people upgrading their laptops. We want them to just buy one, and once that wears out, just buy a new one. Because with these people upgrading laptops, they'll just keep them forever. That's not good for business. We're more about making money in quantity instead of quality. Anyway, Melody says they're only expensive at the moment because of the computer chip shortages because of the COVID bullcrap. Yeah, that's part of what I've been hearing, like going around. You can always try buying a pre-built. Yeah, but I got this tower already and a decent power supply. I may as well use it. And if I can buy like some of these fairly decent components for an all right price and have it work for me for now, that'd be pretty good. And like I've seen some of the pre-built stuff, and I remember I bought like a new Lappy back in Vegas, and it was junk. I don't want to run into that problem again. I had to return that Lappy because it was just. I thought newer would be better, but I'm just so not savvy when it comes to computers. And when I bought it, like I thought it'd be like freaking really neat and new and fast right out of the box. But when I tried to have it do some of the stuff that I needed it to do for my commission and design work, like it was garbage. And they were like advertising it as like, oh yeah, this is a very decent, like it's a very good gaming laptop. It's a gaming laptop and it's like pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap for the quality. It's really good. And like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, I'll get it. Fucking gaming laptop, my ass. Like, I couldn't really run Photoshop or any of the other like simple like programs I needed it to do. And like this, oh god, this is awful. It's junk. So I had to return it. Hmm. Damn it. There we go. There we go. What I'd really like to try someday is one of those mini towers. They look so like small, and it'd be really good on space because I'm just so cluttered all the time. But then I don't want to run the risk of like getting one and not being able to do what I need it to do. But I'd like to try to. I'd like to buy one just to see what it's like. Maybe I should just like look up reviews on them. I never bothered doing that. Oh man, all this talking is like aggravating my throat again. It's getting all scratchy. Maybe I should just shut up. Melody says, but yeah, if you're looking for computer guts, Newegg is the best place to get them. Yeah, I was like, I looked at Newegg, and like the motherboard I had my eye on was right there at the top of the list on Newegg. But on Amazon, they're having like a deal on it right now, so I might get the motherboard from Amazon. But I'm looking up GPUs on Newegg, and I'm going to do some price comparison. But first, I got to find a decent GPU for a decent price. Melody says, problem with MIDI towers, and a problem I have is that all the guts are cramped together, and the heat from them all ends up heating up the other components by proxy of the close vicinity. Oh, yeah, that's true, huh? Man, well, I don't want to mess with that, but maybe someday. Maybe I can like after I'm done with all this stuff, like I'm somewhat of a tinkerer. I'd like to tinker with stuff. And what if I could get like a mini tower and like fabricate some sort of shell for it or alter it in some way where I can like keep it in a refrigerator, but modify the refrigerator where it's like the tower and stuff, or like the mini tower is like kept in like a slot in the refrigerator door. Like just get like a mini fridge and alter the door so where it can like slide in like a little mini tower into it and keep it cool that way. I don't know. It sounds like it'd be like a pretty novel idea, and it's like something that I've thought about for a little bit. Is like just like cooling a PC is like a pretty crucial thing, but like here on the reservation where it gets like triple digits, it'd be pretty interesting if I could modify like a mini fridge to keep a tower in the door, but like like have everything be where it's like maintained where it still stays dry, but like the mini fridge will like keep all the computer components at like an optimal cool temperature. But that's just something I've been like just kind of just imagining or daydreaming about. It's like one of those someday things. I'd like to try that. See if that works. I think it's a pretty interesting idea. Mona says, unless of course you just install a shit ton of fans. Yeah. All right, cool. I'm pretty happy with this. Let me just take a little bit to new layer to figure out this guy's background here. Well, it's like the horizon line is going to be a little higher since it's going to be kind of like a bird's eye view, just kind of looking down on him. Like I'm placing the horizon line higher to give more of an impression that he's like a short, squat character. Because if you look down here, he's pretty short compared to the coyote character. So if I put the horizon line up here, it just gives him more of that impression that he's like much shorter than the coyote. And I forgot what the background looks like. Okay, so he's got this rock structure behind him, like right there. You can see that. Melly says Russian accent. All PC is fans. All PC is fans. All, ugh, lost my Russian accent. All, all PC, all PC is fans. All PC is fans. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we got this red rock structure behind them, and then it's like blue plateaus off in the distance. I don't know. Should it be a little closer though? Oh, I gotta take a leak. A little bit of a break time. Not stopping the clock though, because this is community service. Not like I'm getting paid by the hour. I'll be back. I'm back. I'm back. Sorry it took a while. My mom needed help putting a faucet back together. And while I was there, I went ahead and grabbed me a slice of pumpkin bread. Mmm. Pumpkin bread. I didn't realize Thanksgiving's going to be this Thursday. And we didn't get any food for Thanksgiving. There's like no turkey, no stuffing. I should probably get some stovetop tomorrow. We can at least have some stuffing. And either today or tomorrow, my dad's supposed to get his holiday turkey for Thanksgiving. So I think we're set on turkey. We just got to wait for my dad's holiday turkey to come in because that's what his place of employment does. It's kind of like a holiday bonus or whatever. They hand out they hand out holiday turkeys to their employees. But I should probably get some stuffing. What else goes with Thanksgiving? Green bean casserole? No, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Melody says best way to do stuffing is to dice up bacon and cook it in the stuffing. Oh my god, that sounds awesome. Either cook diced bacon in the stuffing. Either cook diced bacon in the stuffing or or oops. Oops. Or get some sausages, cut them open for the good gunk inside them, and mix the meat inside of the stuffing mix. Man, I think if we do anything, we'll do the bacon one. Now, is that cooked bacon or raw bacon? Do we put raw bacon? Like, if we do the bacon one, do we like pre-cook it, or do we just chop it up raw and throw it in to the stuffing and let it cook that way? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering. Raw bacon. All right, gotcha. Oh, okay. Of course. That way, like all the bacon juices and the fat just seep into the rest of the stuffing. Duh, Black Horse. Now I'm getting it. I got you. Now I see it. I understand. Oh, excusez-moi. No, I'm just checking the users in chat. There's like not the regulars, but like several new several new names that I haven't seen before. Melody says basically you have the raw stuffing and the raw bacon, mix it all together and let them both cook together. Sweet. That way the sweet succulent juices of the bacon fat just melts into the rest of the stuffing around it. Mm. Oh, yeah, we're definitely doing that. You can do the same with the sausage too. Yeah, but the sausage seems a little more complex, just like cutting them open, hollowing out the guts. Like it probably like taste amazing, but I'm not sure if the rest of the family would be behind it. But I'll pitch it to them. But like fucking bacon versus sausage, I think we're gonna go with the bacon first, or maybe maybe we can cook them both side by side. Have one for bacon and have one for stuffing. Because I think we have like two baking dishes that'll allow us to do that. Oh God, I'm gonna have to take these ideas to my mom and see what she wants to do about them. Because definitely, I think we're gonna do the bacon one. But it'd be nice to see what happens with the stuff with the sausage one. Freaking Melody, like your cooking ideas are just I just fucking love you. I love you. Good God, I love you. Melody says, yeah, yeah. No, no, wait. Now you're talking. I guess about me, like us doing them side by side. Yeah, just dice the bacon up into cubes and just mush it into the raw stuffing mix. Mmm, sounds so good. I'm like double fisting drinks here. I got like a rock star left over from last night, and I got a coffee. One or the other, Black Horse. What do you want, like a caffeine overload? You gotta pace yourself, man. You gotta pace yourself, dude. Okay, I'm gonna use it like this. Use it like the same body. Gotta put his head down in that contem- contemplative. God damn it.
Contemplative.
Contemplative. There we go.
Contemplative.
Contemplative. There we are. Gotta put his head down in that contemplative manner. Contemplative. That contemplative manner. Oh, what am I doing? I'm like giving myself like going about it the hard way when I can just fucking select and tilt his head down. Here I am making things harder on myself when I can have technology do some of the work for me. Notice that Squish is having a big brain moment. Yes, the biggest of the brain moments. Yeah, I'm still getting a stuffy runny nose, but it's not as congested as it was like 2 weeks ago. So much gunk was just coming out of my face. I went through 2 boxes of Kleenex in just 1 week. It was fucking nuts. Oh, my hands are cold. Oh, that's right. Of course, I took off these gloves. Still, good God, it's still pretty cold. It's like still, it's still in the 30s. Like this morning, it was like 30 degrees, and right now it looks like it's maybe 30, closer to 35 degrees, maybe like 30, 33, 34. Jeez. Jeez. Oh, jeez. In the meadow, we can build a snowman and pretend his name is Parson Brown. He'll ask, "Are you married?" We'll say, "No, man." But you can do the job while you're in town. Oh, yeah. We can take this hoe. And I went through the trouble of like looking up ancient gardening tools and ancient Native American gardening tools, and this was one of them. It's like a shoulder blade. Whoops, I deselected. Damn, ah, gonna have to select this again. Yeah. It's like a shoulder blade strapped to a wooden stick with what seems to be maybe some sort of a deer sinew, and that's what was used in ancient times to. Where's my? Is this it? Oh, to break up the dirt for gardening. For gardening. Maybe I should have it at still like maybe I should have it still at an angle. I can't seem to talk right now. I'm having a hard time trying to convey my thoughts and opinions verbally. Maybe a bit closer, right about, maybe just like over his shoulder, something like that. I'm, I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. Ten Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch. I'm too much. Well, I'm going to put on some spooky stories. I have them loaded up right here. Disturbing green texts.
My step aunt was killed at Yellowstone last year. Hiking around Yellowstone with a bunch of family. Step aunt and her kids, dad, and me, and my brothers. We're following a guide that will take us around some really cool hot springs. It was all really beautiful and awesome. We had a super good time, so we were all in really good moods. My step aunt is like, "Hey, have you guys heard about hot potting?" She tells us it's where you go and find a hot spring and bathe in it because it's really good for you. Automatically, I think this is a really bad idea, but I don't say anything because I didn't want to be the killjoy. She gets everyone hyped up, and we all start looking around the trail for any small pools. I tell my younger brother that I think this is a really bad idea, and he says, "Me too." We decide we need to tell someone. Suddenly, we all hear my step aunt start screaming, and we all know it's bad.
Oh,
I've
God.
never heard her scream like that. We find her standing waist deep in this pool. The water is red. At first, I think it's because of the minerals, but when I get closer, I can see it's because she's being boiled alive. God, I really don't like thinking about this, but she was literally being cooked. Her skin was turning white and flaking off into the water, and she was bleeding super heavily. She was wearing cargo shorts. The water was so hot it made the metal snap basically fuse with her skin. She tried to take her shorts off, but a bunch of the skin on her waist came with it. There was literally nothing we could do. We couldn't even get close to her. We
Holy
tried
God,
making a
dude.
rope out of the clothes to throw to her, but she couldn't move. My older brother ran to go get help so he didn't have to watch her die. I kind of hate him for that. I will never fucking forget her looking me in the eye. Like, she couldn't understand why any of it was happening. Eventually, she started swaying, and then she fell.
Because
By then,
you freaking took a dip in
she wasn't even
volcano
screaming.
water, you dip.
Not mine, but a friend of mine. Story below from his perspective.
Yeah, that's the thing about like hot springs is that they run right next to like volcanic magma chambers. That's how they heat up, and it's never good to like try to take a dip in like random hot springs. It's like there are like what do they call them? Like resorts for that. It's like there are resorts built around hot springs that you can like relax in and like enjoy the warm water. But undocumented hot springs are a real crapshoot, and some of them might be okay, but some of them are just like scalding, boiling water, and you can literally cook to seconds if you choose the wrong hot spring. So if you're going to take a dip in a hot spring, like it's best that you go to like a resort that has them like cataloged or like has like certain like hot springs like put up where you can actually go into them. Like choosing a random hot spring to just like fucking jump right into, it's like fucking stupid. Oh my god, that's like a friggin' terrible way to go. Just cooking yourself alive. It's like if you had any sense, you'd like just test the water. If you were still gonna be like that headstrong to go ahead and do it, like friggin' test the water first. Even then, it might be a crapshoot because who knows like how hot it would get. Like maybe it like comes in waves. I have no idea, but like yeah, just if you want to go to a hot spring, like it's best that you go to a resort. Just that keeps tabs on that stuff. Freaking idiot. God, that's awful. Um, oh, Black Skies just jumped into the chat. Says danger of acid. Oh yeah, I guess some of them could be acidic pool soup. That's right. Somewhere in Utah, there's like a bunch of like hot spring pools that are just like plain acidic. This fucking oh god, this lady man. If this be a true story, it's like fucking tragic. But Come on, stupid. Just fucking do some more research. Oh,
Be me. Be 2009. Be railfan. Be involved in various projects with the railway company. This time, my community got a project from the company to restore an old diesel locomotive. Head to the train depot in the city. Huge ass depot was built back in 1866. Lots of spoopy stories involved. Depot area also include boneyard for retired train coaches in DMUs. The old diesel locomotive is put to restoration process. Day 1 proceeds smoothly, or so we thought. Be midnight after. Thunderstorm outside. Chilling with depot staffs and
Melody says, I
mechanics.
love the smell of
Blasting
melting
music and
humans in the
cracking open
morning.
some cold ones. Exchanging jokes and some bullshit stories. Suddenly, heard rustling and steps on the roof. It's probably local cats. Yeah, okay. Two of my fellow rail fans involved in the project went to the toilet. Too much drink. The toilet located outside the depot. 1 hour later, both didn't show up. Okay, what the fuck? Depot staff suggests we conduct a search. Borrowed some flashlights and headlamps. Head outside embracing the thunderstorm, searching for two men in pitch black darkness among train graveyards. After 1 hour searching, Wind Depot mechanic found them at the top of an old concrete water tower, pitch dark in the middle of the thunderstorm, among the train boneyard. Water tower that used to store water for steam locomotive water refuels. They sat on the top of the water tank, motionlessly, stares blankly. Hey, get down! No response from both of them. Keeps staring blankly with no expressions at all. Then, suddenly, both of them starts chanting an unknown song or mantra. One of the depot mechanic that has some insight about local folklores recognized the chants. It's an ancient chant. Not possible a modern man could know this, unless he was born in a mythical-oriented family. The staff asks if both families has a relation to mysticism. No, they're very religious. Well, shit. Time to call local spiritual figure. Depot overseer, who's aware of all shitstorm that is currently happening, immediately puts up his phone and calls his acquaintance. Apparently, some local spiritual man. Explained to me that this is not the first case here of paranormal activities. There are lots of paranormal reports in this depot area, even since 1950s. Are you fucking kidding me? .gif. 30 minutes later, local spiritual man arrived at train depot. Overseer explained the whole situation. Nodded calmly. Heads to the scene. Both of my apparently possessed friends still sit motionlessly, chanting the ancient mantras or some bullshit. The spiritual man climbs up to the top of the tower, illuminated only by the flashlights from staffs below. Doing his things for a good minute, and suddenly my friends came back to their senses. Evacuated both of them. Heads back to the depot. They said that when on their way to the toilet outside, they saw some female figures dressed in red. Tried to run back inside, but after that, they don't remember anything. Said that they only remember that they were running back inside the depot, and suddenly found themselves drenched in rainwater, in the middle of a thunderstorm at midnight, sitting on top of the old water tower. Depot overseer intensely paying attention to the stories. Said that this wasn't the first time the red figures showed up. Local spiritual man suggests to put some right as a gesture of apology. Asks why. He said that unseen beings near the depot are disturbed by your loud music. Are you shitting me? Just because some shitty music that wave. Eventually agreed to commence the rite. Disturbance stops. No more bizarre things and weird reports coming after, until the project finished up 8 days later. Playing GoldenEye in the lounge one afternoon. I was probably
Yeah,
about 7
GoldenEye.
at the time. Mom comes in and gets mad that I've been playing video all day. Tells me to go outside and play in the yard. We lived right on the edge of a housing estate, so it was all bush behind our house. There was a gate on the back fence, so you could easily go exploring. Get on trampoline for a bit. Hear my mom's voice. Over here, Anon. She's standing among the trees past our back fence, signaling for me to come over. Come on, Anon. I want to show you something. I start walking towards the fence. Can see her through the fence poles. As I'm walking over, I notice that she's got a massive grin on her face, and her stance is creepily straight. Realize that something is off. My mom never acts like this. Turn back the house and see my mom in the kitchen window. Get that sinking feeling in gut. Don't look back. Just sprint towards house. Hear hush, guttural moan coming from behind the fence. Bust in the house and run into mom's arms crying. Tell her my story. Can tell she's freaked out. Gets dad to go searching area behind our house when he gets back from work. Don't let me play in backyard unsupervised after that. We move a few months later. Pretty sure this incident was the deciding factor in the move.
Fucking creepy.
Okay, here's some OC. I like reading.
I've had dreams like that, just like running into other people's doppelgangers, or even pets. It's like in the dream, like I'll be like going along my business, just like doing whatever, until I see somebody, and then something about them just strikes me as odd. But then shortly after that, I'll see the other person, like like the same person again, and somehow like I feel like that's the real one. But then after they're like standing side by side, like I don't know which one is real. And then for some reason in the dream, I have to pick like the real one, like and the other one like gets has to get destroyed or something. But in the dream, like I always pick the wrong one to like to come back home with me, and I don't know. It's it's strange, and the last time I had that, it was like with a pet. It was like a little like white dog, and then there was like another one, and then I knew it was like another one of those doppelganger situations where I had to pick one. And after I picked one, I knew it was the wrong one because it started running at me just like all weird, like on all fours, like not the way a dog would run. And then I slammed the door right onto it. And shortly after that, I woke up. It's so fucking weird. Doppelganger stuff, creepy. Although I am absolutely positive I do have a doppelganger somewhere in Las Vegas. Actually, not in Las Vegas, but the neighboring town just to the south of it. Somewhere in Henderson, Nevada, I have a doppelganger. Because in my time in living in Henderson, I would get these random people just kind of like coming up to me and just like saying what's up or whatever, like just like as if they know me. And then I've had like a one dude give me a ride and just like going about this story of how we know each other when I've never known him. And like the party he said that he met me at is a party that I've never been to. And I've had other people in that area just like take these weird double takes at me. It's just like just as if there was like uh, something on my face or whatever, but it's like this sense of recognition in their eyes. It's like they seem to like sort of know me but not know me. And these are people, absolutely strangers I've never seen before. And what's weird is that this doppelganger of myself seems to know people like doppelgangers of other people that I know. Because one day I was like walking down the street, and then this chick starts driving by, and she honks her horn and she's waving and all smiles and everything, and I just kind of waved back. But what was weird is that she looked like a coworker of mine at the time. So the very next day, I like approached that coworker. He's like, "Hey, you were in somewhere in Henderson, were you? Like, did you see me yesterday?" He's like, "No, I've never. I never drove down to Henderson. I have no. She had no reason to drive down to Henderson. So it's like me and this other coworker. We're not like on like friendly terms. We don't share that familiarity. But apparently, my doppelganger and her doppelganger got along swimmingly. Like enough so that when she was driving down the street and she saw me, thinking me I was this other guy, she just had to honk her horn twice and then just like wave at me and just like with this big smile and everything. But yeah, uh, doppelgangers are weird, and I'm pretty sure I have a doppelganger somewhere in Henderson, Nevada. Anyway, back to this.
Reading stuff about cryptids, but I don't buy into all this
Oh
supernatural
wait.
stuff. This story is my mother's, and
Um, oh, Iso's in chat. Let's see. No, is his name Fred? I have no idea. Iso says, yo. Melody says, hello, Iso. Iso says, popped here for a bit before, but he seemed to be AFK. Yeah. Melody says, honk if you're ready for Freddy. Ah, nice.
to be honest, I have always believed it. Albeit, I still don't consider it supernatural. Be my mother, 20s, working as nurse in Wales. There are two kids, an infant boy and a girl, between 6 and 9. Sorry, can't remember exactly. Both have cystic fibrosis or something like that. Terminal. My mom is really fond of kids and has a soft spot for the little girl. For the months she's been there, they get close and talk a lot. X months later, the little boy dies. One day, not long after, my mom gets off a shift in the evening, goes home and does whatever, and goes to bed. Dreams of a black background with the little girl standing there. She says something along the lines of, I wanted to say goodbye and thank you. I don't want you to be sad. Boy's name, and I can run and play now, which we could never do before, so please don't be sad. Dream over. My mom instantly wakes up. Time is like 12:15 or something. Mom gets dressed, drives to the hospital, goes to the nurse on duty at the desk, and asks to see little girl. Nurse looks at her like she's crazy. Little girl went into cardiac arrest at 12:15 and died. Basically, that's it. Now, my mom has told me this story many times when I was younger, but recently we were looking for photos of me as a kid for my fiance to see, and we stumbled across an old photo of my mom, another nurse, and the two kids. And she told my fiance the story. I, of course, already knew it, but I got this very strong feeling from looking at the kids. Looking at the little boy made me feel like there was a lot I didn't know. Like, I had many things to learn. And looking at the little girl made me feel like everything was okay. And I could be very happy. When I was 13, I had a sleepover with a bunch of other girls at a friend's house. We decided to play the Ouija board at like 1 in the morning since no one can sleep.
Uh-oh, Ouija
A
board.
couple girls chicken out. Rest of us, maybe 5 girls, are all sitting in a circle with our hands on the planchette, asking usual stupid questions. Not getting any answers except ones that are obviously one of us fucking with the others. Someone makes it say some swear word or whatever, and all of us start laughing. Atmosphere is basically ruined. Not even touching the planchette anymore. Stop laughing after a while, and realize we can't find it. It is literally nowhere. Someone crawls under the bed to look for it in case it ended up there. Girl under the bed stops talking. She comes out looking confused and freaked out. Asks friend if we can move her bed. We do. There's the planchette. Except it's fucking half sticking out of the solid wood floor. Like it melted into it. When we touched it, it's room temperature, not hot. We can't move it, even a little. None of us know what to do or how to explain it. End up moving her bed back and chucking the Ouija board outside.
Weird.
Friend moves out years later. Parents never notice it somehow. Probably still there, to be honest. I've posted this before, but because it happened to me, and I still remember it every time I eat pizza. Be me, 6 or 7 years old. Mexican, but visiting relatives in San Antonio. Walking all day around malls and shit. Tired as fuck, and very hungry. My great uncle Robert, aka Grunkle Babby, suggests we go get some pizza. Mom, Grunkle, Big Sis, older cousin, and I go to Pizza Hut. It's like 10:30, so town's pretty empty and dark. Since I was shy as fuck, I was just sitting with Mom while Grunkle Babby ordered. Suddenly, Sis and Cousin
Thought I
come
was gonna
crying to the table.
sneeze.
They say there's a vampire outside. I peek out the window, and there's a really skinny pale guy outside.
Pizza,
Sis
pizza,
and Cousin insist
vampire!
that he's a vampire. Mom talks to Grunkle, and he agrees to just go outside and tell the guy that he's scaring us, and to just go away. From what I can tell, Guy mutters something, and Grunkle starts yelling at him. Grunkle's pretty pale, but suddenly turns red and starts grabbing the guy. He screams, "Norma, tell them to call the fucking cops!" Jesus fucking Christ. The cops arrive and take the guy, who didn't resist at all. We ended up taking our pizza home. It was Hawaiian. When I turned, I think, 16, I asked my mom what that shit was about, and she told me the guy wanted to buy my sister and cousin, and asked Grunkle Babby how much for both of them.
Creep.
Be me in hospital due to surgery. In prep now, half asleep. They're telling me all the boring details. We will start cutting here, etc. In the OR now. Sleep now. Right before I pass out, I see a doctor in black scrubs face mask and glasses. Wake up 8 hours later for a 3-hour surgery. Notice more stitches than they told me. Scream bloody murder. Nurse books it in. Just in a panic, screaming, crying, the whole 9 yards. Fall asleep without knowing. Wake up 8 hours later. There's 2 doctors, 3 nurses, and a cop.
Make me some
No
vitamin
fucking
C.
clue what's going on. My main doctor says, "No need to panic. You're in your bed. Just had stuff, etc." Turns out,
Throat's
I
still
died
feeling a little
twice on the
scratchy.
table somehow. They nicked my heart once, and I almost bled out. Pretty sure I saw death before they put me under. I went in for stomach surgery and almost died. How the fuck do you nick a heart on stomach surgery?
What? Is that what happened?
Here's a strange and kind of funny one since someone is here. I'll make it quick. Be a long time ago. Wasted out of my mind. Weed, coke, X, booze. Yeah, I was a real shithead. Have quit the drugs years ago.
Hold on. Issa says, "What's this audio? October passed already, you know?" Anytime's a good time for some spooky stories. It doesn't have to be Halloween. In fact, like Christmas time was also said to be a time where you could tell spooky stories. With the cold and dark environments and such. It was like way back in the day, like Christmas was also a time for, traditionally like telling stories, spooky stories of the like. Well, not sure if it's much my people's tradition, but it's just like one of those general things. Dissolve faster, you. And dissolving like vitamin C tablets because I can still feel scratchiness in my throat, and I tend to break them up so they can dissolve faster. It's almost done. I know. Maybe I should have some lemon juice. Come here, you. Ah. I'm trying to open my fridge. There we are. Okay.
Some smokes because I felt like some fresh air and a nice walk. Come back. Headed to my upstairs apartment. Had just moved in. Went to wrong apartment. Walk into wrong apartment. Short, fat cholo lives there. Puts his gun to my face and walks me back into the apartment courtyard, threatening to kill me. Hands up. Apologize. Don't want any trouble. Explain to him that I'm just wasted and trying to go home. Homie immediately breaks down crying and puts his arms up around my neck. Tells me he's on meth and really wants to quit. Pat his back and talk to him. We had a real heart to heart. Tells me he will always be there for me. Go back home.
Weird.
Just another day I'm glad I didn't die. Alright, well, I'll contribute. I posted a couple stories about my friend's haunted duplex over the past week. I was on the phone with him earlier while he was driving home from visiting his girlfriend in another city while she's at school. A couple quickies, nothing too spoopy. Befriend. His girlfriend's aunt lives in the attached duplex. Uncle visits for a weekend. As I said in a previous thread, a woman died in there. There's a picture of an elderly couple that was in the house, and for God knows what reason, she keeps it in the spare room. Uncle walks past open door. Heard some chatter from in the room. Pokes his head in. The portrait of these two people were looking at each other, having a conversation. Quickly stop and return to normal position.
Weird.
Portrait eyes watch him for the remainder of the weekend, glaring at him. Why didn't they toss out the picture? Probably so as not to seem disrespectful. Though at the very least, she could have contacted any surviving relatives to see if they wanted the picture, but I always felt skeeved about just throwing out someone else's family pictures.
Okay, that reminded me of like a spooky incident of mine. It's like where inanimate objects just kind of like look at you. I've never had like a photo move or look at me, but like I've had like a doll's eyes look at me. And okay, that scenario was like I was just a little kid, right? And like I was there like at this house, more of like a modernized Hogan with some of my other cousins, and we were there just kind of like as like wannabe Ghostbusters. But we weren't playing around though because like one of our smaller cousins had seen something spooky in that Hogan, and we all went to investigate. So we all went in there to like see if we could see anything spooky or see what she saw. And we're just looking around, kind of like going room to room. And then I linger in this one room, just kind of like looking at like the walls and the dark corners, trying to see if I can see anything like out of place. And then my eyes settle on like this like it was kind of like a basket full of like dolls, and there were like various dolls, you know, just like Barbie dolls and baby dolls, and I my eyes fall on this like one Barbie doll, like just this Barbie doll's face. And you know, like Barbie dolls, it's like their eyes and their facial features just painted on. But as I was looking at it, the eyes just blinked, and it just freaked me out to no end. And I was just screaming, and I ran out of there. And my other cousin was like, What happened? What did you see?" And then like I told him, it was like I looked. I was looking around. I looked at this doll, and the eyes blinked at me. And we all went in there, and we were all like just kind of like staring at this doll, waiting for it to do something. And one of my other cousins like even had like this pocket knife, just like kind of like holding it toward the doll. But yeah, nothing else happened. But I don't know what it is. Like my the little cousin saw that freaked her out. We never like I don't remember what she said she saw, but my personal experience after like going in there and like trying to find what it is that she was talking about, like that seeing that doll's eyes, the painted eyes no less, just kind of like blink at me, just like freaked me out to no fucking end. But I think having like a photo, like an old black and white family photo, just like moving or looking at you, would be like 10 times creepier than that.
This morning, or yesterday, not sure. Friend made friends with other neighbor. Call him Jay. Jay is asked by Buddy to feed cats, Molly and Tyrone. Molly's a good cat, but I cover my wallet when I'm not reading. Jay feeds the cats and sticks around to give them some attention. Molly sits by a window in the kitchen, which is right by the back door, which is by the basement stairs. Molly
What?
sits by a wall with other neighbor.
What is he saying? He's not reading?
This morning, or yesterday, not sure. Friend made friends with other neighbor. Call him Jay. Jay is asked by Buddy to feed cats, Molly and Tyrone. Molly's a good cat, but I cover my wallet when I'm not reading. Jay feeds the cats and sticks around to give them some attention. Molly sits by a window in the kitchen, which is right by the back door, which is by the basement stairs. He's petting her and hears, "Psst, hey, come here," coming from basement. He fucks off in a hurry. Calls Buddy. I'm never going in your house again. It's getting a little worse lately. I think we may be agitating it, so maybe we should pump the brakes. The other side had someone come in and smudge the place 2 weeks ago, but things are getting spoopy. I thought it was funny at first, but now I'm getting kind of spooked. I like a little scared by seeing some shadows move, but talking paintings and whispers asking me to come downstairs is where I'm going to draw a line.
No, why am I using this when I
Be
could be
me,
using this?
24, and an alcoholic. Staying at my great aunt's house in New Hampshire, taking care of her. Start to play cards with her to pass the time and keep her spirits up. Starts telling me about a local urban legend, Tuxedo Man. Tuxedo Man loves to dance, Anon. He's such a wonderful dancer. Auntie Tess, who is Tuxedo Man? Anon, Tuxedo Man was the owner of this really swanky motel back in the day, but he passed away in a boating accident. Swanky motel. Auntie Tess gets winded talking and tells me she's out for the night. Time to get shit-faced at JPEG. Pour myself a whiskey tonic and climb onto the couch to watch some shows. Old TV starts to get blurry, so I shut off the TV and try to turn it back on. Remote stops working. Batteries must be dead. Open the back of the remote. No batteries were even in there. Stand up to go into the kitchen, and the floor is soaked. All of it. Squish-squash to the kitchen to find batteries and a towel. As I'm in the kitchen, the TV turns on and starts playing a song from Music Choice called Navy Blue, or some shit. I go back into the living room ready to throw some batteries at anything I saw. TV turns off. Music continues. Floor is still soaked. Get the remote working and press the power button. Instantly, the song and station change to I Want to Dance with Somebody. Nope.png. I get it to stop when I put on ESN, and the fucked up shit stopped. I don't really believe in ghosts. I think a lot of urban legends are just fairy tales. But Tuxedo Man was real. Apparently, he was usually seen dancing in a tuxedo on the beach, under street lights near the old motel, and in the motel proper. Naturally, he always appeared drenched. Okay, hold on. I normally don't fucking put in my comment. But the guy discovers Tuxedo Man after he's drunk. He probably just kept the fucking freezer open. I don't really believe in ghosts, and I think urban legends are fairy tales. But one time the TV turned on to a music channel, so Tuxedo Man's real.
Ah, nice. Oh, next one coming up is 63 scary police encounter reports with creatures. All right, let's go.
The officers' names in this episode
Well,
have
it's
been
loud.
changed for the safety of their identity. Thank you for understanding. July 18th. There's a strange story coming out of the U.S. Army base at the Presidio in
Hold on. Issa says nothing adds to the spookiness than file extensions. File extensions. Like .psd or .exe or oh You mean like the green text stuff where they like say all those like weird things like insert um, scream wave file here, scream dot wave, whatever. Okay, I get you. I get you. Gotta blow my nose again. It's like I'm at the tail end of this cold, but this is like the longest cold I ever had. I think it's because of the environment that I'm in, like this cabin. It's hard keeping it warm because there's still like spots that need insulation, and I don't have much of a heat source. My mom had me bring over this like little space heater, and it does great, like heating up my shins and my feet, keeping those warm. But then when I want to keep my upper body warm, I'll put it right here on the table next to me for like when I'm drawing late into the night. But then my feet and my toes are just freezing. It's a neat little space heater, but for like a space like this open, it doesn't really heat all that well. What I need is like a camping like wood burning stove, and I've looked up a few of them, and they come in like decent like sizes, and they're portable, and that's what I need to like warm up this little cabin. But they're like I think the lowest one I found was like maybe for $150. They got some really good looking ones too for like maybe a couple hundred or so. Those ones seem nice, but I gotta wait. Gotta wait till I can wait till I earn it. Oh, Isa says you missed the part where he said nope.png as a meme. Ah, I see. Melody says, can you raise the heater off the ground? I can, but it's still keeping my feet warm. Because if I put it up right next to me, it's like my upper body will be okay, but my feet are just freezing. But my upper body's okay because I'm wearing two sweaters and I got gloves. It's just my feet. Speaking of which, I gotta put my fuzzy slippers back on. I bought myself some indoor house slippers, and they do pretty good keeping my feet warm. But then I gotta take them off when I go outside, because these are not outdoor slippers. I gotta get me some outdoor slippers soon. Melody says, wear double socks. Yeah, I guess I should. Ah, okay. Well, I got these like long, like thick socks that I can put on and just like fold down into itself. Just roll it down, double layer my footsies. Woo! Kind of cold going on at first. But yeah, I've had this cold for over 2 weeks, and usually when I get it cold, like even the bad ones, they only last about a week. But since I'm in this cold environment where I can't like sweat it out as I usually do, because I can't get it warm enough sometimes. I've just been struggling with this cold for 2 weeks now, and I'm just coming off the very last tail bit end of it. Oh man, these socks are still cold. Got to put my feet right up next to the heater. There we go. There we go. Oh. That's better. No, it says regular socks and then warmer wool socks on top. I don't have wool socks. Maybe I should get some. But one thing I want to get is like outdoor house slippers. That way I can still keep my feet fuzzy warm and go outside whenever I need to.
San Francisco, California, over the sighting of a human-like creature walking on all fours with pointed ears and fangs. According to Officer Cadet Patrick McClellan, he was walking back to his quarters around 2:30 a.m. and he heard some strange sounds coming from the nearby forest. He stated that he looked over and saw what appeared to be a naked man with glowing eyes, hunched over right by the edge of the trees. But it wasn't until the same humanoid creature began walking on all fours that McClellan realized something was not right about the situation. This was no man, he realized. McClellan said that the creature jumped over a 5-foot fence with ease before disappearing into the forest. He went on to describe it as being about 6 feet tall, pointy ears, and long fangs protruding from its mouth. This story might have ended there, if not for 2 more reports of the same humanoid creature being sighted around the same area. A few hours later, McClellan's fellow officers told a very similar story of a strange figure crossing the road right in front of their vehicles. And this is where it gets interesting, as that particular road was open to only Army personnel. So, this means something from outside the base had somehow gotten in the forest. Another officer told a strikingly similar story about seeing this werewolf-like figure walking on all fours and jumping over a locked gate to get past it. While we can't be sure of what exactly these individuals saw, there really is no other explanation than something very strange was roaming around the Presidio that night. Officer Cadet McClellan says he doesn't want to speculate about what this creature was, but does admit it would be hard for somebody in the area to have an exotic pet without anybody knowing, since it's so vast and remote, with many places for animals or people to hide. Whatever was out there is unfortunately no longer around, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. Hopefully somebody gets a good look at this thing the next time it decides to make an appearance. 1987, August 1st. Officer Torgan responded to a call of a possible drunk driver. When he arrived on location, a white male in his early 20s took off running from the officer. The sighting occurred at around 1 a.m. along Highway 44 near Ellingston, Missouri. The deputy requested backup and began to search the area, but could not locate any footprints or tire tracks that may have possibly been left behind by the fleeting suspect. He said, "This is one of the strangest things I have ever put
There's
in a
ESO
report."
that said regular socks
He
and then
returned to his
warm wool
patrol
socks on
vehicle,
top. All
and
right.
suddenly, he heard what he describes as a high-pitched humming sound. The vehicle reached the area
Please.
heard at around 1 a.m. along Highway 44 near Ellingston, Missouri. The deputy requested backup and began to search the area, but could not locate any footprints or tire tracks that may have possibly been left behind by the fleeting suspect. He said, "This is one of the strangest things I have ever put in a report." He returned to his patrol vehicle, when suddenly, he heard what he describes as a high-pitched humming sound. The next thing the officer knew, in front of him stood a large humanoid creature with an extremely fit and strong build. Its eyes were a deep, piercing black, similar to a pupilless appearance of a shark. The creature's arms hung down, giving it a very ape-like appearance. While its head was humanoid in shape, the nose was pushed flat up against the face with a heavy blow fall during its lifetime. It had a very wide mouth, filled with lots of tiny razor-sharp teeth. Long strands of stringy hair hung from the back of its head midway down to its back. The officer noted that it appeared as if this humanoid had been living in the woods because the humanoid's skin was dirty, matted, and also gray in color. It stood about 8 feet tall and had very wide shoulders, maybe twice the width of a human shoulder. The witness stated that he was so frightened at the sight before him, he didn't even think to pursue it. He simply got back into his patrol car, returned to his station to fill out the report, which he never intended to release, at least publicly. The witness described this creature as one of the strangest things he's ever put in his report. He stated that when this thing stood before him, it looked like something right out of a horror movie. I know for certain that I saw something very unusual on the night of July 26th while driving home from work. I had not been drinking and was completely sober. I also do not drink caffeine or take any type of stimulant or depressing drugs. When my wife saw the tracks, she believed that they were left by a bear at first, but was informed that there were no bears in the area. In our front yard, we have a large maple tree whose branches hang very low to the ground. The object that I saw at the window was most definitely not a bear. It was standing on 2 legs, very unlike how a bear stands, and it reached with its arms in an attempt to touch me.
Okay, I gotta go hit the head. Again, I've been drinking a lot of liquids. Just trying to knock this cold out. I was maybe drinking more water. Pedal down. Alright, I'll be back again. BRB. BRB! Maybe I should make that more apparent. BRB. There we go. Melody says 100 an hour and 50 minutes so far. Sweet. About halfway done. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Whew. Oh man, I'm starting to get a bit of a headache. This cold better not be having a resurgence. Hmm. Ooh, I better see if there's like any more coffee left. No, it says 2 minutes, dude. Oh, that's right. Back on the schedule of like 2 hours of community service, an hour of commission. Then, well, yeah, we're breaking it up. Breaking it up. I forgot what the schedule looked like. Is it 2 hours now and then 2 hours later? Or is it like broken up in 1 hour chunks? I think that's how we're doing it. Okay. Oh, it's 2 hours. Okay. It's been 2 hours. Sign off on community service for now. Jump back on it later. But now is for some commission time. So, all right. Stop the clock and we'll see you guys after a while.